Barnsley, the USA simply must get a couple of points on the board, and fast as well. It's 11-3 at the moment. Singles for the rest of the evening, and up next it's Dominic Barrett, the European team captain, with so many Weber Cup wins under his belt, against the debutant Parker Bohn III. What will happen? Let's hand over to your commentators, Cass Edwards and Simon Golding.
Thanks, Tony. Well, it's been a relentless march towards the 17 points here for Team Europe, led by the man that will open this match, Dominic Barrett. But he's up against one of the legends of this sport of 10-pin bowling in Parker Bohn III. So maybe we can look on this one more as a potential bonus for Team Europe. Maybe, Cass, a bit of icing on the cake.
Simon, I'm actually hoping that Parker gets his act together. I'd like to see him shoot a massive game, I really would. But at the same time, you know, Dom is playing so well. And starts just like that. Well, you can't ask for better, can you?
Right, this is getting just a little bit too worrying now for Team USA. And I think what Europe have done very, very well in this whole Weber Cup 16 is that once they got the pressure on, they've tried to continue to apply the pressure rather than just come up there and throw the ball willy-nilly, not worry about things. They've tried to continue to hurt Team USA. Parker Bohn then, hitting back.
Yeah, it's a great looking shot, one strike apiece. As you say, Team Europe have sort of put the thumb screws on really, haven't they? And they've just kept turning tighter and tighter. This is the third game bowled on this lane pattern, so the oil is has moved around a bit, some of it's evaporated, which is why we're seeing Dom Barrett standing way left on the approach and almost playing coast to coast. 40 feet of oil and then 20 feet of dry back end. As I say, that some of that oil has moved around and some may have carried down, but Dom found a nice line to start with. As you can see, he'll be throwing it right and letting it come back. And that is what we call coast to coast. And makes 2 strikes in a row. How about that?
He's got it sorted and he's got the ball as well that he likes the reaction of. And this is working very nicely indeed for Captain Dom Barrett.
Yeah, great pin action in the back end there.
Upstairs Bohn then, father of 5 now. Justin, Brandon, Sydney, Parker the 4th and Evan. And here you go, here's another little fact for you. Back in the day, Uncle Vinny was in the first band that Bruce Springsteen ever formed back in New Jersey. But in terms of this sport, Parker Bohn is one of the big names. He's one of the rock stars of 10-pin bowling.
Also, Simon, he's brother-in-law to Doug Kent, American PBA star, who actually played at Weber Cup back in the day with Fred Flintstone, I think it was, but Doug Kent played in the Weber Cup.
Don't you tell Doug that, dear me. Yes, that's right. Sisters Chrissy and Leslie, married to Doug Kent and to Parker Bohn III. Now, both men still on for good games here. This is what we want from this match. This is what the crowd have come to see. And in terms of the neutral fans, I'm not sure there are many of those, but they want some extension of the Weber Cup into slightly deeper territory than it looks like it's going to go at the moment. It's all gold from Dom Barrett at the moment.
Yep, certainly lined up playing a captain's innings so far. And I'm hoping he's going to draw Parker Bohn into the pocket as well. And set it up for a great match. We haven't seen just how good Parker Bohn is. People within the sport of 10-pin bowling and the bowling industry know that he is the actual legend. He's bowled 216 and 246 in his previous 2 singles matches. So he hasn't been that far away. But the pressure's on because he's got to strike here just to stay in touch with Dom Barrett.
Good shooting from Parker Bohn, who really had his heyday from 97 to 2002. That's when he won that huge cluster of 18 titles. Appeared in the feature film Kingpin as well, briefly, alongside Woody Harrelson. You'll see him in that film, a fleeting second. Has appeared in a number of different TV productions. He's quite a big name over in Japan as well. Appears from time to time in a drama over there called Golden Bowl, about the sport.
Also shoots a very nice 226 average over more than 150 games this season in the United States.
And oh, the first little stumble is from Don Barrett. It does end up as a little stumble. It could have been a lot worse. Could have been a big fall here.
Just makes the head pin. Could have been the 2-8-10. Could have been the 2-10, but the 10 pin's gone. So the split is avoided. Fortunately, it was a straightforward single pin spare. He will go hard and straight at this one.
Removed with ease.
Oh, a chance for Parker. Come from behind. Simply because he's bowling second. He can stand up here and make 4 strikes in a row and put some pressure back on the European captain.
US captain Tommy Jones got pretty close to the maximum in this afternoon's session. And we thought that was going to be the change in momentum for Team USA, but it didn't happen. Bohn then working 3 strikes, and unfortunately has to settle for the scourge of the left-hander, that ringing 7.
Wouldn't you just know it when he had a chance to take the lead? Can't really see much wrong with it. A fraction of light on the head pin. 7 pin stands in defiance.
That's been the way though of this Weber Cup for Team USA. Every mistake that the Americans have made almost exclusively has been stomped on by Team Europe, whereas the reverse has rarely been true. Team USA unable to punish, so we go back to levels in terms of the maximum score at 279.
Yeah, Parker just trying to keep focused back in his chair there. He won't really want to look too much at what Don Barrett's doing. Concentrate on his own game. But it looks pretty good from where we're sitting, Simon.
Yeah, that's a nice comeback, good adjustment again. Just remembering that he's bowling on the burn, so he's got that little bit more room to throw a ball like this.
Yes, the all on the outside of the lane has been burnt off to some extent and moved around. And so, he's, as you say, it's a bit drier out there on the right-hand side of the boards for him. Gives him room to almost bounce it off the dry balls back into the pocket.
Whereas his opponent, over on the other side of the lane, is bowling on a completely different oil pattern. It's an oil pattern, I'm afraid, that he's lost complete contact with. That's a second 7, and that's a problem for Team USA again.
Much straighter line down the boards. Again, it's just light in the pocket. It's not kicking up and driving in behind that head pin. Consequently, that corner pin is standing up. Just about takes that spare away. Dear, oh dear, that was quite close, wasn't it?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Cass, such is the quality of Parker Bohn that we're almost viewing this one against Don Barrett as a banker. But I think that rather undermines the quality of Dominic Barrett these days.
It's a very difficult one, isn't it? 2 superstars of the PBA Tour, locking horns, if you like. You really couldn't pick a winner.
A long thought process, a long chat. That's very much part of Dominic Barrett's new game plan. Likes to visualise and talk before the shot. Controlled the speed on that one and just allowed it, therefore, to hook up a bit more than he wanted.
Just a fraction, wasn't it? Just enough to leave the single pin standing. Great looking shot, just a little bit through the face of the number 1 pin. Right in the middle there. Doesn't carry all 10. So again, it can only be a spare.
So both men opening with 3 strikes in a row, both men opening with Turkey. Then Bohn has 9 spared the next 2 frames, so he's struggling for strikes at the moment. 2 7-pins left. Although when it's consistent like that, you would expect a man of this calibre to be able to make that a fractional adjustment that he needs.
Well, the annoying thing, he's not far off perfect. And as we've seen, just those 2 corner pins stood up in defiance.
Yeah, no, that's the worst shot he's thrown.
Yeah, no, that was a bad ball. Came off the hand wrong. Came out the side of the ball. Just didn't get any lift or drive, and you can see the ball's aquaplaning along there. He's left a 3 in the 9-pin sleeper, and he's totally disgusted with that. He's got a tricky little spare as well. He's got to cross the lane. Any all that's in the centre of the lane, he's got to go across. Get some drive and cover that back pin, the 9-pin. Well, he does it nicely, but a spare was not what he needed. He needs to play 2 or 3 strikes now, try and put some pressure back onto the European captain.
So we're kind of back to square one here. Those maximums very close. So all about trying to string the strikes together from this point on.
And from an American point of view, they wouldn't want to see it that close. They'd much rather see Parker Bohn way out in front, because it's only going to take 1 glitch from either player here, or 1 double, and that could be the turning point.
As always, we'd like to see a game won on good bowling. Don Barrett will know that the luck was with him there. Okay, he didn't knock all 10 down, but that could have looked a lot worse.
Yeah, he's playing this coast-to-coast line. Didn't quite get the drive back in. Moves the 8 and the 10 standard, but the 8 pin's gone, which is fortunate, because that would have been a massive open frame.
So the spare for Barrett. Does it to keep his score ticking along, but I think the concern here is that that's 2 balls he's thrown on that line now, Cass, that have not reacted the way he started in this match. So the time for change, I think, is here.
Well, I think it depends what Parker does in this frame. It is that tight at the moment. But yes, it may well be going through his mind.
It's a huge gamble, though, isn't it? You know, you've got that probably that 1 chance to make the decision in a match, and it's got to be the right decision. And if it's wrong, you're gone. Bohn then needs a strike here to force the issue with Barrett. Gets it. Well, he knows when to arrive, doesn't he, Parker Bohn?
Yeah, really got some fingers in the ball on that one. Came out behind it and just absolutely ripped the label off it. Look at the work and the rotation on that ball as it goes in the pocket. Things just smashed to pieces, and he really enjoyed that one. It's time to do it again, Parker. Got room for another 5 if you can do it.
You'd love to fill it up from here, that's for sure. Barrett then, off the back of 2 rather fragile 9 spares. Gets to the pocket this time, but the 6 dancing around the 10. Can't buy a strike at the moment, the Team Europe captain.
That was a very important ball for Dom. He really needed a strike there, but he is playing left to right, coming back so much, and corner pin stands. It's just the angle the ball's coming back in. It's not quite driving through, shooting that 6 pin onto the 10. As I said, 3 spares in a row. So now it could be Parker time. Working on a strike, looking for the double to maintain 19-pin lead if he can strike here.
Huge opportunity then for Parker Bohn to continue playing the role that he was brought into this team to play. I think it's unfair to suggest that he didn't have a good start. He was just out-bowled in his first singles of the opening session. Didn't shoot a bad game in the end.
Yeah, no, 216 was okay. Unfortunately, on this lane, you need to Pretty much average 230 if you're looking for a win, and sometimes higher. Came back in his second game with a 246 for a victory. This is a big ball for him.
It's a great ball as well. You heard the celebration. About 2/3 of the way down, he was asking this one to finish the job.
Well, it certainly did. It was a perfect shot into the 1-2 pocket for the left-hander. Really did enjoy it, and he knows now he's 2 strikes in a row. He's got the chance to go 3 in the foundation frame. He sees he's got a lead, and will he jump all over Don Barrett? I don't mean literally, but bury him with another strike.
I don't know, it's a plan for Team USA. Jump on the captain. No. Ringing 10 again, this one's gone. Bohn,
Yep,
with the door open now.
Sorry, 4 single pins in a row for Dom. It would be time to change, but the ball looks so good going in the pocket, you'd think, well, that's good for 10, but it's not. It was only good for a 10 pin.
He made his decision, he stuck with the ball, tried to throw the line that he was after. Just wouldn't react for him. So the single pin removed. His potential maximum drops now to 30 pins below Parker Bohn. And from the point of view of Bohn, the ace finisher, this should be a cakewalk from here.
Well, this is the big ball. Frame number 9, working on 2 strikes. Trying to maintain a 30-pin lead over the European captain. And don't you just know he's been here before sometime in his career? Just needs to finish this well.
Oh, he's left that bucket again. He did it in the Baker, and he's done it now. It's makeable, but it's pressure.
It certainly is. Didn't quite get off the hand really with this one. That ball's aquaplaning rather than driving up. Didn't roll. Moves the 3, 5, 6 and the 9 pin at the back. It's called the bucket, and you can see how disgusted he is with that. It's a tricky little spare, but it's very makeable, and he needs to make it.
He has to, otherwise he lets Barrett back in. Side in, he's got it. He's got it. So 232, 226, the 2 maximums. And that means that Dominic Barrett needs the strikes to set the mark and ask Parker Bohn the question. Giving himself another big talking to. He's going to stick with the ball that he started out with. He thinks he's got the line. He thinks he can throw it hard enough to get into the pocket.
What he needs to do at this particular time is carry that 10 pin, which has been so stubborn with this ball and the line he's been playing for the last 4 frames. It's pretty much now or nothing, Simon.
He was trying to come in on that slightly shallower angle to winkle out the 10 pin. He did get rid of that, but unfortunately that's going to cause you problems with the rest of the deck, and that's done it, I'm afraid, for the Team Europe captain.
Yes, game over. It's got a 4-6-7 split, will be an open frame. Just going to go over the 200, but Parker's pretty much there already, just going to keep the ball in the lane, and it will be a victory for Parker Bohn. Well, just testing another strike ball out there was Dom. He wasn't going for those pins at all. Scores 200.
An interesting and edgy match. Not what we expected to see from these two. We thought it was going to be all guns blazing. But a rather fragile performance from both men.
Just needs 5, and the game's his.
He's got it. He's got it. Parker Bohn puts another point on the board for Team USA. And without him, and that single point from Wes Malott, they'd have been in all sorts of bother.
Well, oh happy man, Parker Bohn. Not the greatest game in the world. It was good enough to win. And that's all that matters.
So Parker Bohn, TJ, Wes Malott, the contributors at the moment to that US score. And Parker Bohn, yeah, signals the win. It's all good for PB3. We'll move USA to 4 points. Still meagre pickings from Weber Cup 16 from the team in red. But hey, you've got to start somewhere.
And we have another Team USA player on a winning streak. So we'll do it with a great deal of confidence. That's all right, it doesn't matter. 229 will do, thank you very much.
So a big shake of the hands, but Don Barrett will be hurting after that one. Really wanted to keep the pressure on, but Parker Bohn has managed to pull it out of the fire. 229 then plays 200. It's another point for Team USA, but they're still a long, long, long way off that Team Europe score. More action to come then.